let's move on to the Buffalo Bills that are kind of the Cinderella story, right? A story that everybody wants to talk about. The Buffalo Bills were kind of starting to get blown out a little bit against the LA Rams. They were down 10 points last night to the LA Rams, but they did muster a comeback. Yes, they did come back within 2 points and lost the game, but it was ultimately a 2-point game. Josh Allen has been called the MVP in the NFL by many, and right here on the Man Hour as well. And yes, he did put up another great stat night versus the LA Rams. 3 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns. But the real question is, guys, are the Buffalo Bills a one and done in the playoffs? The Buffalo Bills, guys, shown that they are a beatable team last night. The Buffalo Bills showed that they are a team that if you stick to your guns, if you stick to your game plan, you are going to beat the Buffalo Bills. When you look at the Buffalo Bills so far this season, they are 2-2 versus playoff teams. They do have 1 game left versus a playoff team, and that is the Detroit Lions. Many people are circling that game. Super Bowl preview next week, week 15. I'm sure it's going to be much talk about all week long right here on the Man Hour. Buffalo Bills versus Detroit Lions. Who's going to win the game? Who needs the game, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When you look at the Buffalo Bills, they are 2-2 versus playoff teams this season, and they have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs, but they've lost to the Texans and lost to the Ravens. But if the playoffs were to start today, they would be the 2nd seed, and they would be playing the 7th seed, the Denver Broncos. What do the Denver Broncos have that other teams don't? The Denver Broncos have one of the best defenses in the NFL, and they run the ball well. The Broncos average 121 rushing yards on the ground on the road this season. By the way, the Buffalo Bills give up 121 rushing yards per game so far this season. Last night versus the LA Rams, the Rams, they were running the ball very, very well. Don't look at the stats. Look at the first and second quarter. They were running the ball very, very well. They were running the ball so well, in fact, that the Buffalo Bills had to bring down a safety into the box, which therefore opened up the passing game for Matthew Stafford to have a great, great night. As the Buffalo Bills do have the 8th-ranked passing defense, it is because most of the time so far this season they've been playing ahead. Most of the games they have played, they've had a substantial lead where the other teams are trying to pass the ball to catch up. And they really haven't played a well-balanced team yet like the Denver Broncos. And when you look into the stats even more, the Buffalo Bills have the 20th ranked 3rd down defense, only stopping the opponents 40% of the time. What do the Denver Broncos do well? They play defense. They do their keys very, very well, except for to the Baltimore Ravens. They rush the ball, they stick to their guns, and they get you out on 3rd down. Guys, it is a very, very real possibility that the Buffalo Bills could be a one and done. It is a very, very real possibility that the Buffalo Bills could bring in a very, very hungry, very, very eager Denver Broncos team into Orchard Park, into Buffalo, New York there, and they could give them a run for their money. But let's not be crazy. Let's not be crazy. The Buffalo Bills will not be a one and done in the playoffs. They certainly will not. Their best bet obviously would be to get the number 1 overall seed, and then they play a team like the Houston Texans, like maybe the Baltimore Ravens, like the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? That would be their best bet, because I think they match up versus those teams very, very, very well. They don't match up great against the Denver Broncos, and they could definitely give them a run for their money. But they are not a one and done. They are not a one and done. No way, shape, or form are the Buffalo Bills a one and done in this year's playoffs. So what do you guys think? Are they a one and done in this year's playoffs? Potentially. Alpha Rob says the problem was yesterday the defensive line couldn't get pressure. They couldn't, which was weird, right? Von Miller's back, and Espinen, like, is that how you say his name? Number 57, the left defensive end. He's a dog. And I don't understand why the Rams were having their way with you guys, honestly, right? And Laura says, not last night. Chargers not making it this year. No, Chargers are definitely not making it this year. They're not. Alpha Rob says, not a chance that they're a one and done. Not a chance. You know what else is not a chance? The LA Rams.